Hi guys. Um, I'm about to drink some tea. I put some bladderwrack in there, some burdock, and it's just raspberry leaf and hibiscus blend. So yeah, it's like early in the morning. I don't feel the need to sleep right now, so I'm just up. Um, yeah, I like getting up in the morning like this, honestly, even though if it's like insanely early because um I don't know. It just leaves me more time to kind of like wake up and like walk into myself for the day. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I thought I would just sit here and have some tea and talk and stuff. Yeah. Lately, life has been revealing to me some interesting things. Everything is just kind of like a journey and an experience to me now. Um, I've learned a lot in the past year or so. I've grown a lot. Um, I don't do things the same anymore, I guess. I've changed a lot, but it's not a bad thing. I think I'm like how I just said I like to get up in the morning because I like to kind of walk into myself. It helps me like wake up and think more clearly and stuff like that. If I can wake up really early and kind of get going with my day, I feel more like myself because I do like to get up and do things. I like to experience my life. I don't like to sleep a lot. I like to sleep as much as I need or want. But yeah, I'm just very grateful um, for all the things that I've seen and learned this past year. I mean, I think a lot of us can relate to that. I'm just grateful when I wake up, I guess, because a lot of people haven't woken up today. You know what I mean? Like, and they won't. Um, so that's something I've been trying to do a lot, even more than I have um, in the past year. I've been trying to do that in the past couple months, even more. Just being grateful, even if there's stuff. I feel like sometimes as people, we like tend to like wake up in the morning and see things that may be negative. It's typically because we all use social media and stuff like that, or we're on our phone. Um, I found that to be a lot more draining than I ever thought it was too. I've learned that pretty easily, but I think a lot of us wake up and kind of tend to get irritated or pissed off about something. At least I know I do. Um, but I have to remember a couple key things, and one of them is just to be grateful no matter what. Because even if it's gonna be the worst day of your life or it's bad, at least you're experiencing life, right? Um, and then another thing is to not like become what you think. Yeah, sometimes like you have thoughts in your head or like you say out loud different things that just aren't fitting, but once we speak something into existence, it's actually a lot more powerful than we think it is. Sometimes people think we can only manifest good things in our life, but um, that logic doesn't really work. I mean, if we can say stuff, write stuff down that's so good and it will come to fruition, we believe we have the power of doing good. Um, we should believe that we also have the power to do bad and to do ourselves negative. And I feel like, I mean, just speaking of my own experiences, I feel like it's been easier for me to make things negative in my life. And I'll admit that, you know what I mean? But I think trying to change and make stuff positive and make positive things come to fruition is just as powerful, but it's better because who doesn't want to experience a better life and better things? Hot as fuck. But, anyways, yeah. I don't know. I've just been remembering to love people, love myself more, and to remember that I'm the only one that can see through my eyes, so I have a different perception than literally everybody else. Um, I just say a lot. That's like crazy. But just remembering that I live my own life and everybody leads their own life makes you at a lot more peace, you know? What's that one fucking book called? If you guys have never read, it's by Don Miguel Ruiz, if I'm not wrong. What the hell is it? It's like the Four Rules or something like that, or the Four Laws. I can't remember. But I really like that book, and I remember it all the time. I think I left it when I was moving, so I need to get another copy. But that's like that book is super good. I really like it. And it talks a lot about like being at peace, knowing that like you can't control what somebody else thinks or says or does. And which sounds crazy, but when you think about it in daily life, you don't realize how much you try to control just so you can regulate your own emotions, because unless you are a super healed person and you never have problems regulating your emotions, actions, you never struggle with that. But I find that most people do try to subconsciously or just try to control things in their life just so they don't get upset about something. I do it all the time. I know that other people around me do it. So I would assume a great deal of people watching this do that as well. Kind of like a situation where, like, just like an example, I guess, is like when you try, and this is like a weird example. I don't know why I just thought of this, but like when somebody's saying something that's kind of making everybody uncomfortable and you're like, oh, stop, or like try to like kind of laugh it off, something like that, because you want to prevent yourself typically of feeling like a secondhand embarrassment or like liable to something awkward or weird somebody else said, or to prevent everybody else around you from having secondhand embarrassment, so that feeling of tension isn't in the air, kind of, because we all do like sense each other's emotions and really feed off each other and like fuel them as well. Um, so yeah, you can either be a blessing or a curse to yourself, and that's the same for the people around you. Um, you can talk negatively about yourself and just inhabit that, keep it and accept it, or you can change it and challenge that and make yourself and your life better in a way where you positively reinforce yourself and not negatively. And you can also do that for other people. I mean, if one of your friends is constantly talking about how much she hates herself or something like that, or she thinks she hates herself like that, and you just sit there and you go, yeah, I would too. Like, you're not going to do that. So why do you do it to yourself? Um, yeah, you can be a blessing to everybody else and yourself. You don't have to be in a kind of set ways where like, oh, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that. It's just it's it's how life works. When what we say, we become. What we think, we become. You can be a nuisance to yourself, or you can be the best thing that ever happened, and you can, lead a good life for yourself. And then another important thing to remember is that like not everything. I lost my train of thought. Not if you want to rely on people and to have good friends and stuff like that, you need to rely on yourself and your own intuition as well. Um, if you can't do it for yourself, don't expect other people to do it for yourself. You know, um, that's something that I feel like humans lack on a lot of. Like they think like, oh, this person did this to me, this person did that to me. Okay, well, are you allowing that person in your life that repeatedly does these things to you? You know what I'm talking about? It's really difficult to confront these situations when it's ourselves treating ourselves in a negative way. But when we treat ourselves in a negative way, that's kind of like what we attract around us. And then we're going to experience more negative things because we're letting ourselves be with negative people and negative thoughts. But yeah, your life is truly what you make it. There's going to be hardships all the time. And my easy isn't somebody else's easy, and my hard is not somebody else's hard. The hardest thing that I do in life, or the hardest things that I do in life, may be the easiest shit to somebody else that they don't even have to think about it. But then my easy could be the hardest shit that somebody else has ever done. You know what I'm talking about? Not everybody's experience is the same. And just remembering that everybody else thinks different, sees things different, and nothing is truly personal. Um, that just like will give you more peace, just accepting people for what they are. You know, when somebody shows you their true colors, accept that. But then on the other hand, you should really think, you know, is this about me or is this a reflection of them? You know? Uh that's what I think every time I hear somebody say something negative about like me, like as a person or something like that, or somebody else around me as a person. I think like, okay, is that how that person feels about themselves, or is that something they're insecure about and they've like overcome, but they still need that upper, so really they haven't overcome it but they're on the way to. That's why I don't really take any offense to things that people call me or say, because it's just kind of like, okay, is that how you feel about yourself, you know? um as people, we do feed off each other and we feel each other's um, positive reinforcements or each other's negative thoughts. But at the end of the day, the only person that can control and regulate emotions is going to be yourself, you know? So you have to do what you have to do to be able to do that. And a lot of people just need to heal and just realize that not every fucking thing is about them, you know? Like, shit. Like, sometimes I catch myself saying negative things and I have to remind myself, like, okay, I'm saying this because this and this and this. Now, some people might not know, but it also might be deeper rooted. Now, me, not to say like, oh, I'm the shit, but like, if I say something negative, like, there's this thought in my head, and I've trained myself to do this where I just like think like right away, why did I just say that? Why did I just say that? Why did I just say that negative thing about somebody else that does not fucking concern me and that they probably wouldn't give a shit about? And why would they care about what I think, anyways? You know? Because I tell myself that I genuinely don't care what somebody else says because I don't take it personal. So why would I care if, or why would I be caring about somebody else? If I want to say something negative about somebody else, I'm clearly trying to make myself feel better about some type of insecurity. You know what I mean? So it's very interesting. I've also realized that people don't want to fucking talk anymore. That shit is wild, but it's life, bro. Just I was talking about, like, everybody lives different and stuff like that, and like experiences different lives and like lifetimes. um, it's important to also understand each other. You know, when I say that we don't always have to take everything personal and that everybody leads a different life, it's that makes it that much more important to understand each other and to open it up for conversation. When you don't understand where somebody's coming from, you know, it may not be, people might be off put if you ask them like, oh, why do you think that? And some people may even be angry or upset by it, but most people will tell you and explain, well, I learned this from this, or I saw this growing up, you know, or I experienced this in my life and I researched, studied that. But it's become very evident to me that people don't even want to talk anymore, I guess. We're like in a stage of just like total censorship of each other, whether it's people online, whether it's our fucking family and friends, like um especially online. Like, social media has taught us we can literally censor everybody by choosing who we follow on our platforms, which is actually really interesting. I never thought before this. Not that it's bad that we get to choose what we like, but then we also get catered the same patterns of thinking by the algorithm, like on Instagram, for example. They're not going to shove police propaganda in your face unless you've been feeding into that. They're not going to shove other types of propaganda in your face unless you've been feeding into that, because they know that's what you like. And they know that that will breed more division, you know? Because at the end of the day, the United States, at least, is definitely a business. Um, They want people to be as unconnected as possible so they can make the most money as possible, because at the end of the day we can all help each other and help ourselves in different ways. And being connected is a really important part of that. Um, and it's become so obvious that the internet doesn't want us to connect. You know, some people would argue against that, but it's almost like a fallacy of connection that social media is. We don't actually have human interaction on there. It's faux interaction. Somebody can calculate exactly what they're saying when they say it and who they say it to. And then they can calculate, and they know exactly what they're gonna fucking see every day. They're gonna see the same information they want to see every day. And I'm not saying this as, oh, everybody else is. I do too. Duh. That's what this shit is. Like, that's literally what social media is. The fuck? But yeah, no, but I guess I've just realized that people don't want to talk anymore, and it's actually just like sad to me, because I love to talk to people and have conversations and not even debate, just talk to people about stuff and kind of like what they think and where they're coming from. But yeah, I find human connection to be very important. I don't think many things feel better than having just like a wholesome, loving connection with somebody, or like on a less intimate level, I guess, like just a good conversation with a stranger, like that you needed on a certain day where you just were feeling like kind of blue or something like that. Those are like really important things. Whether you realize it or not, it can boost your whole day. But life is what you make it. I mean, on the inverse, like, I had somebody say something just fucking crazy to me yesterday, and like in person, in real life. And I mean, the old me, I probably would have cussed them out, but then I kind of sat there and I'm just like, okay, what is that saying about them? Or maybe they're just having a bad day. Um, but I'm not gonna become what they just said. If they want to call me a name kind of out of nowhere when I'm just, doing my thing, I guess that's just how they feel. But is that how I feel? No, I don't feel like I am what they called me. You know what I mean? So it's just what you make it. And I understand that people feel different, see things different. So you just let it be and accept people for what they are. That's just how life is. And the sooner you accept that, the easier stuff is. And yeah, I'm excited for what this year is going to bring. I love the fall. Summer's kind of ending, even though it's still going to be hot as shit for me, which is cool because I love the sun and I love the heat. Um, but I'm kind of excited to, I don't know, I'm just excited to keep living, I guess. It's early in the morning, so I'm feeling a little more intellectual than usual throughout the day. Um, but yeah, I'm grateful to just be here, be awake, have the resources I do, or the ability to limit the resources that I have. Like social media, I don't really want to be on social media today. Every time I wake up early in the morning, I realize that, because sometimes I'll get on in the morning and I'll be like, this is tiring, but it's probably just because I'm tired. But it's a good way to trick myself to getting off of it for the day. It just feels better. But yeah, remember to just like spend time with yourself, be patient with yourself. Not everybody has the same easies and the same hards, so just remember that. Remember that everybody takes life differently, thinks differently, and that's okay. It's not the fucking end of the world if somebody thinks different than you. I experience this every day, and my friends and family talk to me about this every day, kind of like, oh, well, they said this, they said that, she said this, he thinks that. It's okay. It's everybody has a um, different resources, everybody has different experiences and different lives. It happens, but what I do know is that I'm always going to stand up for myself, help myself, how I can, because everybody can help themselves in different ways. Um, and just live my life, because what the fuck? Like, everything is just okay. You know, just fuck it, man. Like, life is cool. We might as well do something with this shit. But yeah, I guess I don't really have anything else to say after I just talked for 20 minutes for no reason, I guess. I'm only halfway done with my tea. But yeah, I don't know. I just woke up today and I saw some wild ass shit. And I was like, you know what? Yeah. Uh-huh. I'm just going to spend some time with myself today because I realize the people or the things that I have around me sometimes don't always reflect how I'm moving forward in my life and how I want my life to be in the future. So, yeah, sometimes you just have to think what's going to be best for my future self. And I know, and I have known, I just haven't followed through with it, I guess, kind of in a way. So, that's what I'm just gonna do now because shit, it's never too late to help yourself or do something different to better yourself. So, yeah, all love.